one thing I have to say about the tariffs is that it is focused back on manufacturing jobs, on creating a level playing field with respect to trade. So I think that having the president put the spotlight on the uneven and unfair tariffs that we have with other countries is an important thing. I haven't read the decision of the Supreme Court as of yet, but my understanding is that the decision says that Congress should be the governmental entity that provides for tariffs and fixes tariffs rather than the executive branch. So I haven't seen their reasoning on that yet, but one of the things that is interesting about it is that the president can decide not to do business with a foreign entity, but what this decision is saying, he has that power, but he doesn't have the power to regulate that in the form of the amount of tariffs that go each way. So I'll be curious to see what the decision says once I read it.
Well, of course, the president has made it very clear, and I think this is why we've had a bit of a muted reaction in the financial markets, that he's simply going to seek a different authority, and they're going to continue pressing ahead with tariffs. But that's going to take some time, right? They have to do an investigation that could take months, and then there'll be some further implementation. Does that delay potentially help Republicans like yourself who are running for office in this off-election year?
No, this election here in New York State is going to be decided upon issues such as affordability. This is the most overtaxed, overregulated state in the United States.
Don't tariffs play into affordability?
We are at the bottom of the list of economic development. Excuse me?
Don't tariffs play into affordability?
I think they play a minor role compared to the policies of Kathy Hochul that have made this a state that's at the bottom of economic development of the 50 states in the United States. We have seen hundreds of thousands of jobs leave New York State. We've seen hundreds of thousands of people leave New York State. We need to create an environment where we can have economic development, prosperity, create more jobs, create better paying jobs, better benefits, cheap energy. I would cut the energy bills in half by eliminating all of the silly mandates that are in it, plus the taxes that are put into your utility bills, the excessive delivery charges and other hidden fees that make us much more expensive as far as our energy bills. I mean, we are 50% more in energy costs than the state of Pennsylvania. Why is that? It's because of Kathy Hochul and her misguided policies.
Well, you have been very critical of Governor Hochul's $1.5 billion relief plan for New York City. You've called it a bailout and essentially, if I understand your point, a quid pro quo from the endorsement from Mayor Mamdani. If this is the wrong way to do it, knowing that there's a massive, well, the mayor himself calls it a financial crisis when it comes to debt in New York City, what would you cut?
Well, first of all, you don't give candy to a diabetic. And basically, the state of Florida has less of a budget than the city of New York. There's something fundamentally wrong with that. We have policies here that don't work in favor of the taxpayers, don't work in favor of the ratepayers. We have a subway system that is unsafe, that is dirty. People don't pay their fares. We need to start making sure that we have a transportation system that people want to use, that's safe and secure and clean, and make them pay for it. 60% of people who use the subway don't even pay the fares. They just go past the turnstiles. So that's one of the areas that we could make it more efficient. We could provide better services, and we could do it in a way that didn't kill the taxpayers of the city of New York and the state of New York.
Mm-hmm. You know, Mayor Mamdani has said repeatedly that Albany has underfunded New York City in relation to its tax contribution. Do you think New York City gets its fair share?
Yeah, I think New York City gets its fair share. I think New York City needs to start managing their fiscal affairs better. I have a county that's larger than 8 states. I've gotten 7 bond upgrades in the last 3 years, which is unprecedented, and I haven't raised taxes a single penny. As a matter of fact, I canceled a $150 million tax hike by my predecessor. So if you manage government more like a business, if you provide quality services at a cost-efficient price, then you'll get a balanced budget. They can't do that in New York City because nobody's managing it. I mean, Zohran Mamdani has no executive or business experience. The guy's never run the graveyard shift of a Dairy Queen in the middle of the winter, and now he's running one of the biggest economies in the world. He's in over his head, and the state of New York should not bail him out for his own mismanagement.
Would you try to make a partnership with the mayor? Obviously, you'd have to work with the mayor of New York City, or would this be a difficult relationship?
Well, that's up to him. If he enforces the law and makes for safe communities, then I will support that. I will help with that. But if he doesn't enforce the law and he makes it unsafe to live in New York City, as governor, I will stop that. If he ruins the economy of New York City, I will stop him. I want to create economic development and job prosperity. New York City is very important to the economy of the state of New York, and I'm not going to let the mayor of the city of New York ruin the economy in New York City, which would have a ripple effect on the rest of the state.
Would you propose legislation to remove New York City as a sanctuary city?
Well, from day one as governor, I would not create a sanctuary state. I would eliminate us being a sanctuary state, just as I did in Nassau County on day one.
How do you get that done?
By executive order. I would issue an executive order my first day in office saying that New York State is no longer a sanctuary state. Kathy Hochul has spent billions and billions of dollars of taxpayer dollars on people who have been here for 15 minutes. They came illegally. They haven't earned it. What about all the immigrants that came here legally? What about the people who came here before us, immigrants that worked hard for all that they have achieved? Now we're going to give billions of dollars when we could use the money for schools, we could use the money for hospitals, we could use the money to cut taxes, we could use the money for infrastructure. She's just given billions and billions of dollars away for people who just arrived here. That is a disgrace. I will end that on day one.
Would you welcome ICE agents to the state of New York to remove those immigrants you referred to?
Yeah, my policy in Nassau County has been to work with ICE. I have a comprehensive agreement with them. We've removed, in just 1 year, 2,000 illegal migrants with criminal records, ranging from attempted murder to rape to kidnapping to carjacking to robbery. And it has made us the safest county in America, according to U.S. News and World Report, and I believe that. We've got a great police department. We fund them. And working with ICE, we've made it safer. However, I told my police department and ICE that I did not want raids on schools, on daycare centers, on houses of worship, waiting in front of hospitals, that their focus should be on illegal migrants with criminal records or who have committed crimes, either in Nassau County or anywhere in the metropolitan area. And again, we removed 2,000 criminals from the streets of the metropolitan area. Where would Kathy Hochul like to put them? She wants to put them back in the streets to prey on the communities of New York? I don't think so. I think that basically our policy is sound. It's got common sense, and it's the right way to approach things. But we do have to have a comprehensive immigration policy where people who have been here for a long period of time, who may have a child in school, if they're law-abiding and they're gainfully employed, I don't think it's compassionate to remove them from communities. I think we have to have a path to legality for them. So I think we have to have a comprehensive immigration policy. We need to be compassionate. We need to use common sense. And I think basically they contribute to the economy in a lot of different businesses, such as the hospitality industry, landscapers, golf courses, many other industries, farming, that they are an important part of our economy. We need those workers, and we should have a path to legality for them.
That's a much more nuanced answer than we're used to getting, Bruce Blakeman. I want to just close with a line that jumps off your biography. You were a driver as a young man for former First Lady Nancy Reagan. What's the most important thing she ever told you about politics?
Well, I think loyalty. She was immensely loyal to President Reagan. They had a very close relationship. She was fiercely protective of him. And I think that she made an excellent partner. And it's something that I will always remember was her devotion to helping to make President Reagan successful.